Alright, so this is gonna be a clean cut video. Man, all we're gonna talk about is my favorite webtoon to read right now. Out of Tower of God, out of I think True Beauty, out of I forgot the other one. Look, it's supposed to be my favorite webtoons, I don't even remember what it is. Tower of God, um The Gamer with Hanji Han, The Gamer, and Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Oh my gosh, that's some heat right there. But you've already seen the title of this video. The one you should be reading is unOrdinary. Out of all of these, unOrdinary is my favorite webtoon I've ever read. Now, if you don't know what webtoons are, just give you a little small knowledge on it. It's just manhwa or manha or just Korean manga or a Korean comics, manga, same thing. But unOrdinary is such a great story. Not only does it have like amazing character development, the characters all have these positions on the world and how they view things, and you see them change and you mold, and you spend time with each character to see how they think. You understand the personalities, but it's not in a way where it's like boring or it's like a task. Like you have to go read through the files of a character. Like, what is this character like? What's their favorite food? What's their blood type? Did they have a brother and sister when they grew up? No, it's not like that. Like, you get to go into their lives. They have their own things that are going on. They feel like they're a part of the world. They're not like an extra task to write, like a background character. Like, a lot of them is interesting. Like, you always get your favorite character, and I guarantee you, each of these characters are gonna drive an emotion for you. Like, you're gonna get characters that you hate, but not just hate because, oh, we want to write a character that should be hated. You're gonna hate them because you just don't like their views. You don't like who they are as a character, not just, oh, this is a bad guy, hate them. And you're gonna get characters that you love and that you like because of how they're built. Also, the world in unOrdinary is very different. Just to give you a synopsis on it, a quick synopsis on the world in unOrdinary. Basically, everyone has superpowers. Some people, unlucky enough, the low percent, are born with no powers, or and then yeah, it's a sort of low percent born with no powers, but everyone has a power, but not on the same level. And it's low tier, mid tier, and high tier. So these are just the simple tiers. So I give you short synapses on it. And what happens is that the high tier have high status because they're strong and they have power and a lot of things in this world that are okay. It's just by using force. Anything that the high tiers want, they can get it by using force. If they're stronger than you in their society, they have status. Their power directly equates to their status. You'll see it in certain characters that are destined to be great at something, or they're given really high responsibilities because they have stronger levels of power. And then the mid tiers, they regular life, regular. But the thing about the mid tiers is that they're not as strong as the high tiers. So a lot of the mid tiers bully, physically bully, not just like, hey, move out the way or I'm gonna beat you up. No, it's, hey, I'm gonna beat you up and then I want you to do something for me. It's and then the low tiers hate. They don't really hate anybody. They understand for some reason. It's announced to me. The low tiers accept that this is reality and they get their asses whooped every day by mid tiers and sometimes asshole high tiers. High tiers don't do a lot of ass beating because they're already known and they're powerful. They don't have to whoop your ass. They just get what they want because they're high tier. Mid tiers like to feel powerful, so they beat on the low tiers a lot of the time. And then mid tiers obviously suck up to the high tiers, and they don't like the high tiers because they're like talking crap behind their back all the time. They're just like, oh, you're so powerful, you think you're so strong. Ooh, if you one day I'm gonna be strong and I'm gonna beat you up or something like that. And then the low tiers have just accepted, like, this is what we are. We get beat up, we get bullied, but we'll learn to live with it and work around it, and we'll just do the best with what we're given. That's the low tiers. But then you get the main character, who is John, and his whole thing is that he thinks everything on the low tier is bullshit. He's the one out of the ordinary. Um, so a lot of the things in this story are, what do you? It's hard to explain it. You gotta read it, but it's not the usual predictable storytelling where you're like, oh, this is gonna happen, oh, this is gonna happen. It tricks you. It makes you think that one thing's gonna happen, and then another thing happens. You're just like, no, that's not what I. That's not the good thing to do. Like there's like the thing that you're thinking like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and this will make sense. But the characters aren't built like that. They're they're very they're very exciting. They have their own personalities, and the storytelling is just great. And the world they live in is very different from ours. Some people would say it's kind of similar, but physical might doesn't determine status in our world, where it does in their world. And I'll tell you one thing about the main character, it doesn't spoil anything, is that he does learn how to fight, like martial arts, but the powers are enhancing. They enhance your strength and your stamina and your speed inherently, along with having a an ability. Like some abilities are just stupid. Like some people, there's like one person that can go invisible. He's like the only person in the series that does it. And there's one person that does a shield, and then there's another person that can, you know, project his hand for an attack. There's another guy who has like power punch. It's like these different little niche powers that aren't like super exaggerated. Like there's obviously the one character that can shoot laser beams from his hands, and then there's another character that can see auras. There's a character with electricity power, and some of these powers sound like they might be better than others. Those are obviously the high tier powers, but there's low tier variants of these powers too. So you may even see some characters with the same powers, but some will have a lower tier variant where they don't have as many benefits of a high tier with the same power would have. Let's say like the guy who can have a power punch, he might, as a low tier, he might can only, power punch is going to be weaker, and then he can only do it with one hand or something like that. And someone who's high tier has probably got like this power punch that makes his fist bigger, and there's like this glowing energy coming off of it, and he can use both fists, and like all these different extra benefits that just buff his power punch. But Unordinary is a great story. You should definitely take the time to read it. If you're thinking about reading Unordinary, like, should I read this? And you come to YouTube and you found this video, read Unordinary. You will not be disappointed. There's already over, like 4 or 3 million people just subscribe to Unordinary on Webtoons. Just read it. Just join right in. It's one of the top Webtoons. A great story. I even paid just to see the latest episodes because I think the author writes such a great story that they deserve to be paid. Like, I mean, every author does. They work hard and they write, but this author writes some exquisite storytelling, and there's not any really low points. The only low points in the story is when they're gonna start some action. It's not like that low point, like, oh, like the Fullbringer arc from Bleach. There's none of that. Or like the Bount arc from Bleach. You won't get that in this Unordinary. You're gonna get a Rankar arc all the way through. Aizen, Rankar, Espada, all the way through. Start slow. Here comes a new person. They're introducing, and you start to understand them. Then it goes right back up on the roller. It's exciting. It's exciting. You find out new things, and there's all these moving parts inside the story that eventually come together. And I know they made this video kind of long, but I love Unordinary. And I'm gonna start doing a couple reviews on the next episodes of Unordinary. I love this webtoon, man. It's great. It's my favorite one. It's one of my top, just like manga comics in general. Easily top 2 manga right here, easily. And I've read quite a few mangas, but thank you though. But watch Unordinary. That's all I want. That's all I want. If you don't get anything from this video, if you didn't make it this far, watch Unordinary. I don't care. Watch it.